to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We have the December 7th public meeting minutes, and December 21st non-public meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from December 7th, 2023, both public and non-public.
Second.
And December 21.
And December 21.
Second.
All right. Any questions or comments on the minutes? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, abstentions, that is 5-0.
And we'll make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session from today indefinitely, as it is determined it may adversely affect the reputation of a person other than a member of this board or render a proposed action ineffective.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Item 1, accounts payable manifest dated 12/28/23. Accounts payable manifest dated 12/31/23. Accounts payable manifest dated 1/4/24. Payroll payment manifest dated 1/4/24. Removal of improvements to assist disabled exemption from map lot number 217-134 in the amount of $5,500. Removal of veterans tax credit from map lot number 115-006 in the amount of $500. Administrative abatement of map lot 220-015-065 in the amount of $85.75. Intent to cut number 23-059-04 for map lot number 218-008. Veterans credit for 2024 tax year, map lot number 106-071 in the amount of $500. Totally disabled veterans tax credit, veterans credit for 2024 tax year, and map lot number 106-071 in the amount of $1,700.
I'll second.
Okay, I just want to take a quick look. Just lost it again. What is the gist of the $5,500?
So they sold the property. So
Okay.
they used to get improvements to assist the disabled. So I think it was a ramp that had been built onto the property. And it started off with one person that they took care of, and then it became the owner themselves who needed it. And when they sold the property, that is removed.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions or?
And both of those removals, by the way, are sold properties.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, all those in favor of the consent agenda as written, I guess? Please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, abstentions, that's 5-0.
I'm sorry, who seconded it?
I did.
Thank you.
Okay. Resolution to adopt new FEMA maps and insurance study.
So normally, this would be done on a zoning amendment, any kind of changes in the zoning ordinance. But because of the way the statute is written, it goes before the select board. And the select board has to vote on the resolution and to adopt them. And we also double check too, these are the new FEMA maps that we've spent the last year redoing them all. So we also, once you've adopted them, we have to change the zoning ordinance ahead of time, the normal March timeframe. And we have to have it certified by the town clerk tax collector, and we have to get it sent into OVP, whatever they are now, the Office of Planning and Development. They require us to get it in. They also are requiring that we add the map numbers. We've never had them, but I've checked with the town's attorney, and she's saying if they're requiring that, then it's okay to put them in.
And what if you change the map numbers?
That was my comment, but I guess FEMA doesn't change their maps that often, so even with the flood, the last ones we had in the zoning ordinance and in your folders, so there's There's the resolution, there's also the ordinance amendments, which is number 5. So in the past, we only had the year. So I think it's at the 2008 maps. I can't read from here for some reason. Actually, we took it out in 2021. So before that, it said the 2008 FEMA maps. So FEMA hasn't changed their maps since 2008. And that's what we had on record. But in 2021, we took the year out because we thought the same thing. We thought we wouldn't have to change this, but FEMA is saying, no, you have to.
So, let me go back. As a board, we need to adopt the resolution.
Right, and
And
that's,
then that puts something, does that go on this year's?
doesn't go into the ballot at all. We change it right away
Okay,
in the zoning ordinance. The statute they mention here, the 674, it's because we were enrolled in the National Flood Insurance Program, the select board is the one who makes that change. It doesn't have to go on the zoning amendments.
okay.
So-
So then what is the difference between the sample resolution language and steps and the,
I included the whole packet. The sample resolution is the same resolution words that we put on your document.
okay,
And then the steps tells you what we have to do. So number 1, the board has to vote on the resolution. Then we have to have it certified. Then number 2, we have to update the zoning ordinance and have that certified. And number 3, we have to send everything in.
and the certification is through Rama's office?
Yes, the town clerk tax collectors. Normally, so under normal circumstances, when we do a zoning amendment, we don't change anything until after town meeting, once the voting's done. So we'll change all of the zoning amendments if they're approved. We'll put them in the zoning ordinance. Then we have to have the planning board chair sign the front of the zoning ordinance, and we have to submit it to Grafton County Registry to record it. It costs over $400 to do that. So we are not going to do that with this one change. We're still gonna wait until the March changes.
Yeah.
But in order to submit it to the state, we have to have Rama certify it. And so she'll have to stamp it with the official seal and sign off on it.
We do that every, I lost my glasses. We do that every year, we record our zoning
Any zoning amendments you make, you have to.
at the registry?
Yep.
Wow.
So that's why we have our planning board budget is a little higher because it used to cost us more. We were able to reduce the zoning ordinance when we cleaned it up.
Mm-hmm.
We cleaned it up, we put formatting changes in, fixed all the weird spacing, and we were able to reduce some of the pages down. It was costing more than that. So
Okay.
So
Alright.
what happens if we don't adopt this?
then you would lose your flood insurance for the town probably.
So we don't have a choice. So why don't we just make a motion to approve it?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you
Is it
would
official
read this pursuant.
Is that what we need to?
Yeah.
read?
I
Did
think
we
so.
have a Conservation Commission have a chance to look at these? I don't know.
And so we had to bring it to planning board,
Yeah.
we brought it to
Yeah.
select board, and we had to hold the hearing where we showed it
Yeah.
on the screens, and then we had to also bring it to Conservation Commission. And
So
there
it's
was
had
another,
some review here.
there is a document in that packet that shows you how to go check the maps if you wanted to look at them. We have definitely looked at them, multiple groups, so.
I would make a motion to adopt the resolution supporting the amendment of Article 26? No, 16. Floodplain ordinance adopting the new FEMA firms in FIS prior to them becoming effective on February 8th, 2024.
Do we have to use the language they gave us? Or is that the language?
I think as long as you make the motion, that's what you're signing as the resolution and you're approving.
In
it. So
reference to
you're fine. I
RSA
think you're fine.
674:57.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, motion by Rob, second by Les. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, abstentions, that's 5.
Here's the resolution. Thank you.
Fine. All right, we won't get into that. All right, preliminary review of revenues.
So, we're probably gonna have to skip this, but I will give you just a brief update. I've been working with, MRI, the software company. We are used to being able to split the revenues up into departments. And the only way for me to do that, unfortunately, the way the software works is it splits it on the Department of Revenue codes, which is how it goes on all of the reporting to the state. We've always manipulated it and put it into an Excel sheet separately. I can certainly do that, but that would be duplicating. I would have to enter it into our software and then export it and transfer it into our normal Excel sheet. So I wanted to talk to the board about that before I tried doing any of that. I can show you. I can't show you because I don't remember to put it in there. So it comes out, instead of coming out saying income from departments and breaking off town clerk, tax collector, assessing, land use, it will come out in the order of the codes, the Department of Revenue. So it's all there still, it's just not together in one lump sum. And it's getting down to the wire. I'm concerned that I'm not gonna have time to do it like you're used to, for one, and we're the budget committee. So I wanna make sure I talk to you first before I tell the budget committee. So.
Yeah, I think, we've gone to whatever, we've gone to that system and that's what we have and that's what they'll get.
I might be able to show you. Oh, I didn't put it there, never mind. Okay, I mean, it's all the information is there, and I'm working on the numbers. I've gotten the numbers. So one of the new things that happens is working with the system. Once we close it to the departments and it comes to the select board, and we close the select board, it goes to the budget committee. No one else can enter in but me. So I'm trying to get everything entered in for them. So we will have to start this year with revenues earlier for them. So that they can enter the revenues in, and it doesn't fall to just one person to be able to do that. Just wanted to make sure. I had hoped to have a document for you to look at tonight, and it didn't happen. So I will have it for the next meeting.
I'm not as concerned. Great, thank you. And they'll have to look at whatever we can provide them. How are we doing with revenues is my biggest.
I just pulled my hair out again. Almost all revenues are up. Even the biggest one that I saw, which was on Ben's, was obviously the ambulance fees. We budgeted conservatively. I think we only did, and it just kicked me out. We budgeted conservatively. I think we only did like maybe 300,000. Right now we're at 497. So Ben said in his document to me, he said that if we stayed conservative, then he would leave it the same. And I don't think we should, so I bumped it up to 4.
I was gonna say, let's go to 4.
Because I don't know, he said we could go to 425 or 450, but I bumped it to 4 for now.
See what next year looks like.
Yeah, but I didn't get to look at everybody else's yet, because I've been trying to fix water and sewer next. But their revenues looked right on par.
Bottom line is we're ahead of what we're projected.
We are ahead of what we projected. I don't know where we'll end up, but I know we are ahead. We are working, since we're on revenues, we've issued a deadline for department heads for their budget, 2023 budget. They have to have in all their invoices by next Friday. We should have 2 more manifests potentially out of 2023. I lost my train of thought. I'm meeting with MRI tomorrow. We have a huge to-do list to be able to close 2023 out. So, they have their most senior budgeting finance officer coming in.
If that's good or bad.
And so she's reviewed our audit, and she's reviewed it, she's gonna, because I told her I'm gonna review it, but it could be Greek to me compared to what she may see.
Yeah.
So she's reviewed the audit, she has recommendations, she has things to point out, and so I'll share those after tomorrow's meeting. And it's good for those changes to happen now at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were already making changes, we've made a substantial amount of changes. There were, like, bank statements weren't being put into the system, so you weren't ever reconciling them through the system. So we've gone back to January and we're reconciling them through the system. Other smaller things are in the system as well, but Lindsay's doing a great job.
Great.
So, and if I would steal her,
Right.
Christian would kill me. So I'll have them for the next meeting.
Well, maybe we won't steal her, but maybe she just can't stand leaving.
She said she likes coming here.
Yeah.
So.
All right. All right, we have a retirement plan to talk about.
So you talked about this a little bit before. This was the 457 plan that we talked about when we were reviewing the personnel manual. There were a couple of things that we wanted to check out. One of them was, okay, well, if we did do this, how do we set this up in our payroll system and how much work is this gonna be? There are forms, but according to the information we've received, they train, they come in, they help us show us how to set it all up. I've checked with the payroll company and they said it's an easy flip of a switch, whether it's post or pre-tax withdrawals, and they see no issues with this. So the only thing that you would have to do tonight then would be to approve it so that we can officially move forward with it. And there's an adoption agreement. So you would just approve me to sign the adoption agreement. There's no match. This is strictly
What they want.
whether the employee wants to do it or not. No one's forced to do it. They're able to do it as a deduction out of their paycheck. It goes right into an account, and they're able to save into another type of retirement.
Are they able to
They're able to
choose
choose
the investment
post or pre-tax and the amount that they want. Yep.
and the investment vehicle, or?
That I'm not sure, and I did have the attorney look at all these documents. The only thing we fixed was the Portsmouth, that was in one of them. So they are allowed to do pre-tax elective deferrals, Roth elective deferrals, and then there's this whole plan that they'll draw up. The plan will be specific to the town of Bristol, and it will talk about the plan administrator. It goes through and sets them up. I don't know if they can pick the vehicle though.
Okay, I'm just curious.
I don't believe so.
I don't believe so, because it's through the Professional Firefighters Association. They do it because, for all municipalities as
Yeah.
well, and that's how come we get to participate in it.
All right. All right.
Yeah, you select your deferral rate, your beneficiary selection. There is a thing, for some investors, selecting investment options is interesting, while for others it seems like a chore. No matter your investment strategy, we have you covered.
Okay.
So your plan has a variety of investment options to select from. So it does sound like they get to pick if they
Yeah.
want to, their investment options slightly, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
We passed today in the House, in addition to the state retirement system, which I think falls to town, we're gonna add a group 3, which is gonna be more of a modern pension. More, you could take the money with you when you leave, even if you're not vested yet.
Oh, interesting.
Well, that's
And the
interesting.
idea was it's gonna attract more people to work for the younger people who work for the state. I don't know whether that will be true or not, because the salaries still aren't up there, but
But does it make Does it make the system more or less stable,
It depends who was standing there talking.
as always?
Really,
Yeah.
no, seriously, and it was, yeah, it depended who was talking, so it still has to get through the Senate and the governor, obviously, and fiscal.
Well, because you have to be vested 10 years, you have to be 10 years in
20.
retirement to be vested.
20,
10 to be vested, 20 to
10
be able to
vested.
draw
Oh,
when
yeah.
the time comes.
Yes, you tend to be vested, so I'm vested, but your younger employees are not not staying as long, but
Right.
maybe if that's an option for them to be able to draw earlier, so.
so it'll be more like a newer plan, you can take the money with you when you go, whereas you can't with a state retirement, you
You
can't.
should do the loans.
Yeah. Just letting you know, it's coming down the road.
Yeah. All right, interesting. All right, so it looks like, so say again, we need to, I'm looking at the adoption agreement,
You just need, you need to
authorize you to sign the,
adoption agreement and the loan policy statement.
okay. I'll make a motion to authorize Christina to sign the adoption statement and the loan policy, something?
Your loan policy statement.
Loan policy statement regarding the professional firefighters, police officers, and public employees
Second.
tax deferred retirement plan. Second by Rob. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, abstentions, that's 5-0.
We have talked about the next one. I'm jumping ahead, sorry.
Yep.
You're the chair.
Go ahead.
We've talked about the next one already, but we didn't have you sign it, and so it's the minute taker job description. If you look at it, it's under number 6 in your packets. And the one thing that I added that's not been added to the other ones was based on the personnel policy change, so you'll see that the new thing is non-essential functions. So under status, it says part-time, non-exempt, non-essential functions. So that's the only change since I think I talked to you before about it.
What, sorry, say that again?
If you look under status, it's, so it says job title, department status
At the top.
at the top.
Oh, yeah, sorry, thank you.
So it says, part-time, non-exempt, non-essential functions.
Oh, okay.
So we added that on, this is
Yep.
the first one of the year that has it, based on the personnel policy changes, or manual changes. So if you are good with it, then I would need a motion.
Make a motion to accept the updated job description for minute taker.
Second.
Motion by Carol, second by Les. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, abstentions, it's 5-0.
And that currently covers 2 employees, the job description, but it doesn't cover the 3rd minute taker because that job is a land use associate.
Yeah.
And they do other things besides just a minute.
Okay.
And while we're on a job description, can I throw this in? So I had you sign what I thought was the missing job description last meeting. It was the wrong one. So I needed the beach attendant
Yeah.
sign. So if you've already approved it, if you could just sign it, that would be great. We have plenty of copies of the supervisor
Somebody
now.
salted in the market basket and tilted with a watermelon.
Oh, God.
Watermelons are out of season right now. That's
That's probably pretty hard.
I apologize. I noticed my phone going off. My
Yeah.
sister sent it. It was on, yeah.
a nasty watermelon attack.
Got it.
Are you laughing at me?
It was a drive-by freaking.
Well, then my mother responds back, that's why I go to Plymouth.
I won't tell you in public, but I have to tell you, I did a talk to text on the way home to remind myself to do something.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wait
that-
till you
yeah.
hear what I reminded myself to do.
I posted something today and Patty texted me, she's like, did you hit a tree? Your post makes no sense. I don't have my glasses. I have to go back.
I hate that because if I'm driving, I can't read
Yeah.
what I said, so
Yeah.
I'm like, just send it. Then I'm like, oh my God, what did I send?
I sent Matt, oh, this is pretty funny. Matt O'Neill from the fire department texted me about something. And as I was sending the text, my dog goes up to the Christmas tree and pulls a little penguin Christmas ornament on it. And I was like, no penguins. And apparently it sent in the text, so I get a text back from Matt, like, laughing with question marks. I'm like, what is he talking about? Oh, that's what it was.
Okay.
Alright. You ready for the TA report?
Yep.
Oh, great.
I've set these up a little differently too. I'm trying to put them in alphabetical order and clean up and organize. So, assessing and land, under employee and department updates, assessing and land use. Just a reminder for the public as well. The Pemigewasset River Local Advisory Committee, there are still open positions for anyone interested in the Rivers Management and Protection Program to serve on that committee. Currently we have one representative, we're allowed 3. And that representative's term is up at the end of this year. So if an interested candidate should reach out to the town administrator if they're interested in serving.
When you say we, you mean the town?
Town of Bristol.
They have to be, okay.
Yeah, so they do have to be, so they could serve, other towns are also on the
Right.
Pemmy River,
Right.
but Bristol
Has 3
three
seats.
representative
Yeah.
seats. And we used to have 2 filled, and we've always had 1 filled because we love Max, and Max has
Yeah.
been there on the committee for a long time,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
But we have 2 open seats, so. In your packets, actually, I'm going to share it too. Final 2023 department data summary is
Yes.
under TA number 2. Joanne ran this. I thought it was a nice thing to share. I labeled it wrong. It's actually TA number 3 by
3,
mistake.
yeah.
So she did the permitting summary assessing, showing the deeds, mortgages, everything that they process, and the number of cases and applications under planning boards and zoning boards and historic district.
Nice.
So, and then if you look at the permitting summary, they had 37, they were increased 37 over last year.
Wow.
The money also went up by $3,500 over last year. They've definitely been busy. Some of that is their consistency too, to make sure that things that were being done they were able to catch that and get them to do the permit, so.
That's great right there.
Then the processed a lot of deeds,
Raise that
122.
temporary campsite fee.
Yeah. That's one, it's only $24 for the temporary camping, so. So it's definitely, it's been busy,
Tell
For them.
before.
Nice.
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
Other thing I thought would be neat to share with you, they're fixing a couple things that, but if you get a chance to stop by Joanne's office, she's purchased this herself and she's redone the office. My desk or her desk used to be over here, it's now moved. They've moved some of the structures around to make it user friendly, and she took some what do they call it? Stick and peel wallpaper. Looks really good.
Looks
So
good in the picture.
if you look under, this is the lobby that they've just done.
Oh.
That's
That's
it looks
awesome.
incredible. We talked about it. These are the signs that we had done. We've been trying to figure out what to do and with them. These are the historic district signs. We had talked about putting these signs on buildings, but it became, how do we get the information, who's responsible for maintaining them.
Yeah.
And then you have to have plastic covers to keep them. PSU did all of those signs for us. An intern did it, and we have 2 more that we know I remember are still there that never got picked up previously. So we're gonna reach out to PSU also, because the QR codes work.
Nice.
And there's a website, and we're gonna get the website from them. They've created it for us. So that way we can add anything we want to the website, but they look great. And that's peel and stick.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice.
So I'm doing something in my office next. So, but it looks great. They did a nice job. And this sign had been given to us before, so it looks really good with the historic features, so. Executive department, employee appreciations, we will start with, not January. So I missed doing December with the rush of everything. So I just wanted to bring it up because I think it's good that we say it in the select board meeting as well. So in December, we did post this on the town's website, and we did put it on Facebook as well. But in December, we had 3 people who celebrated anniversary hire dates. In the police department, Christopher Carter is celebrated 6 years. Stephen Jones in the highway department celebrated 35 years. And Eli Schaffner, I thought I fixed this. In the policy department, he celebrated 6 years.
Some aggressive policy.
I thought I fixed that. Maybe not the scanned picture I took, but
Those 2 numbers, those 2 really, that just shows how
yeah,
fast time goes by.
Yeah.
I still think of both of them as,
I know.
yeah.
One of the things for 2024 I'm gonna do a little differently, because we've already done the, okay, 5+, we celebrate you every month, but some of the comments that came out were that people who have been here less than 5 weren't getting recognized. So anybody who's been here a year or more, I'm gonna recognize.
Okay.
One of the other things I'd like to do is quarterly take the 3 months of people and do a drawing for a small gift certificate.
I think that's great.
Give that out, and then I had one other thing I'm going to do, and I'm not gonna say it because I don't want them to know. But I will let you know later. But it's not expensive, it's small, so.
That's excellent.
So we're gonna try to do small things like that more out throughout the year, so. So January is a little bit bigger list because we did add on, and we changed our words a little. So we want to take some time to recognize the town of Bristol employees that celebrated January anniversary date of hire. Thankful for their continued dedication to the town and excited for the future. Keep up the great work and thank you again for being part of our team. Arthur Borey, transfer station, 17 years. Ryan Dillon, fire department, 20 years. I'm not reading the next one. Kirsten Marsh, police department, 5 years. Noel Mermandon, fire department, 3 years. Michael Lacasse, land use department, he celebrated his 1-year anniversary. And Peter Slayton with the fire department, 7 years, so.
And Christina Goodwin, executive department, for 16 years.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't
and
realize
you
you'd
feel
been
comfortable.
here. I didn't realize you'd been here that long.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 10.
I started at the fire department.
That's right.
I was
Yeah.
the fire
Right after I
department
temporarily left.
with two chiefs. There was the 3rd chief. I started when Norm Scansey was there.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
So.
Thank you to all those folks. That's,
Yeah, they do a great job, all of them, so.
everybody does.
All right. Audit 2022, we have a draft. I think I mentioned that to you earlier. We'll be reviewing with MRI on Friday. I'll send you the draft and the comments from that. It took a while to close this out. We should have already had it, and normally we'd have the auditing firm in to speak with you.
Yeah.
But they're gonna be starting the next audit before we can get them in here. So that's why we had MRI do the work. Audit 2023, the auditors will be here from April 15th through April 19th. I just mentioned it to the board because sometimes you have to fill out a survey or something. So just in case you're aware, in case you have to do any forms. So I didn't get to put this as a agenda item, warrant articles. There's a couple things I'm working on. I'll open it up on the screen here though. Okay, cannot see. So it's in your folders under 7 TAA 5. I've updated this, the heading, Articles 1 through 8 are the ones that will be voted on the 12th day of March at the Historic Town Hall, and then I changed it to the auditorium. We filled out the form for the school. We haven't heard back yet, but we've gotten that in, and that will be on the 16th of March. And then I've added in, I don't have the officers yet, obviously, those, I'll get that list from Rama and get that added in there, all the open positions. And then Article 2 through 8 are all the zoning amendments, those are added in. Article 9 still is the budget, 10 is the contingency, no changes there. Article 11, I just wanted to touch base if there was any update for fireworks. Are we still leaving the placeholder for now, that number, the 25, or do we know?
I think it's a good number. I thought we did that.
So we did the placeholder at 25. I didn't know if I wanted to know if we had any more information yet, or should we?
Oh, as far as fireworks are concerned.
No.
Welcome, Rob.
No, sorry.
Yeah, just kidding.
Sister sent another text.
No, I was gonna have to call back again. So the last I was told was that they would not be, or last I knew was the email that I got saying that they would not be able to do a barge display on that date. But I have not gotten a response back as to whether they would be able to do it on somebody else's barge on that date.
Do you want me to, if you can, or I can reach out to them, because I had all those questions, and then I can try and get those answers for you, either I or Deb. We can reach out to them.
Send it to you.
Then we can try, because we're getting, I present
But they had given you
So
a
the-
rough estimate on what price?
12,000.
No, all they gave me was a minimum, and the minimum's like
12,500
or something.
with
okay.
no barge.
Yeah.
But we have no place off the land.
I wouldn't do any less than.
And the only
Was the
date they had was the Friday of that weekend.
Have we ever done it on a Friday?
Probably.
Yes. We've done it on the same day as the 4th of July before. That kills everybody, because we're at the parade during the day, and you got the PD setting up for that, and the fire department's in the parade, and then you end up with the boat parade that ends up having, you have to regulate the traffic, and then you have the fireworks.
Friday the 5th would be okay.
Yeah, so that would be bad because the parade is the 4th.
The 4th Thursday, Friday, then we come into Saturday, so that would be all right.
Okay, the other company that I talked to will not fire off a barge,
At all.
no matter whose it is.
Yeah, and there really isn't, I mean, yeah, you could probably fire them off from a private property over. I forgot to talk to you. Oh, no, never mind, we can still talk about that. But, you could do it I mean, you'd have to ask the airport. That would be the only place that has enough clearance, I think, but I don't know if it's enough clearance either, because it's 200-foot radius. For structures.
Used to the noise.
We have nowhere on land that we can.
Yeah, not with a 200-foot, 50-foot radius, so.
Yeah, I think you can do it at Kelly Park.
Not anymore.
No?
No, that's the reason we had to stop doing it, because we didn't have the radius. We even set it up as far as we could, and we put the barricades out, and we were pushing our luck. Because, and you can only do a class C.
Right.
And you still couldn't get quite the radius that you needed.
Why is it just not coming up in my email?
Well, the only place you could do 200 radius might be out on Summer Street. And be out, but where would you?
High school, the ball fields or the crack?
Wells?
I know it's gonna make a mess, though.
It's gonna make, it
That's-
is gonna make a mess.
Yeah.
It's gonna make a mess. Nobody that is up at the lake is gonna be.
I know,
Yeah, that's probably true.
I know Black Spot. Good drums. Cause you could sit in the high school, in the ball field at the high school.
Oh, yeah.
If we asked the high school, I don't know how that would work, but you could sit in the ball field and they could set it up up there.
Interesting, yeah.
I don't know if he would let us.
Here we go.
Rita's property above the football field.
Mm-hmm, he owns it up there, yep.
Yeah, it comes in from 10 Mile.
Or could you have people sitting in the ball field and set them off from the football field? The end of the football field shooting out over the woods, so the mess wouldn't be on the field, maybe.
No, just put it in the woods, that's okay.
Growing trees.
Fine.
I CC'd Deb on this too.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Deb, I CC'd you on this email.
Okay.
The next one, Article 12, I did get some feedback on the parsonage and parking lot. I spoke with Mike McNally. He said the paving that was in the estimate was the area where the driveway needs to be widened. He said he doesn't recommend removing it unless we're sure we're going to use the encumbrance to do the paving. If we decided to remove it, we could remove from the estimate the gravel and the paving, and then we could look at using the encumbrance paving to do the project, to pave the whole area. But that's about $5,000 that we could take out.
Doesn't even make
Yeah.
really make a dent. No. Yeah. Certainly not in anyone's opinion one way or another, so, all right.
While we're talking about paving, I just saw an email just came in, which he must have checked his email, Mark. I did talk to him, since I also put it in here, I did talk to him about this parking lot, because I mentioned we encumbered some money. This parking lot, and I said, what are your thoughts about restructuring? He said, well, we have talked about moving the entrance, but he says, even if we move the entrance to this, the grade would be a lot harder to meet and you'd lose a lot more space. He thinks if you just move the entrance slightly up, it wouldn't damage the new tree. And you wouldn't have to remove any blocks. But if you just shifted it slightly, he thinks that would be better than having.
That's exactly what I saw when I left the meeting last time, that
Yeah,
to do it any other way would, you'd lose parking and,
you could gain some on the other side, like the PD
Yeah.
parking area, but you're gonna lose quite a bit with the.
but if they had it so you came in at an angle and didn't have to turn straight in, that would improve it.
So that was his recommendation. He said that he was gonna talk to GMI, and he said he would do fix the town office entrance, fix the curbing area in front of the building, grind down the pavement and redo. So the quote that they just did just for this. Yeah, we're not doing this. $46,550.
To move this entrance.
To move the entrance,
And
to
do all the
grind
paving.
it down, to
On
do
top
the
of that.
curbing, and then repave it. So we're not gonna be able to do, unless we take it out of the regular paving projects next year, in addition to the money we covered.
How much do we cover?
Things to that.
Oh, we covered 40?
No, did we encumber, well, we have to still talk about the church, I have that quote too. So we encumbered,
I mean, this parking lot is not great, but it's not,
No, I'd rather see other concerns addressed.
yeah.
For sure.
we encumbered, but you know what, I had to do it on a printout, so I can't tell you what that number was, because I don't have the minutes either.
That's fine.
So I think we encumbered close to 40, now that you said that.
45 even.
So the other quote is for the church. Okay, wait, which one's which? They both said, maybe I just told you, never mind. Which one's which? They both say municipal parking, so hang on. This one is the Bristol Town Office parking lot paving proposal. It's remove all existing asphalt, and that word, excavate, extend entrance.
In 2 minutes,
Yes. Excavate, extend entrance width to the north, supplemental gravel for shimming, fine grading, supply, install machine paved base course, that curbing again, and then adjust catch basin frame and grate parking lot striping. This one is 57.8.
For this,
This one, yeah.
40 something for
For
the
the
church.
The church must be the 47. They
Yeah.
both said parking, but
okay.
let me open that one back up. So the church is remove all existing asphalt, excavate, extend entrance. They wouldn't, so that's included in that estimate there, so I need a different one from them. I just need to know what they wouldn't have to do unless we hire them. But I need an estimate that shows just what they would have to do for the paving.
Right.
And not for the entrance, because that's included in the estimate that we got from the engineer already.
Right.
So I can reach back out to them, it might be, obviously this would be a lower number
Yeah.
for the church then.
Be around 40 again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we might be able to do one of them, and most likely I would think you would do the one over there and save this one,
I
but,
thought we were gonna wait to do that until we looked at extending the entire parking lot.
Yeah.
oh, that's right, sorry, so we would just do this one then.
Yeah.
And we could probably take the money over.
Yeah, we were just going
Yeah.
to fix the entrance over there.
And so we'll leave the paving in
In
the
that
estimate, and then
warrant.
we'll do minimum that, so.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
So if we remove, right, the part of changing the entrance, we should have enough,
What?
right? 'Cause did that say moving the entrance?
No, this is
And
the church, so
No, the other one.
Oh, the other one is 57.8.
Right, and that would, should be less if they removed the
No,
changing the entrance.
that's for this parking lot, changing the entrance here, sorry.
Correct.
But we would change the entrance here.
We're just adjusting it, not changing it to the north
No.
end.
No, that was
That's
their
including
estimate.
just adjusting it, I'm sorry.
Alright,
Market, we talked about that and he said, no, he didn't think we should do that. So just a slight
alright,
adjustment,
so the estimate they gave us is just for adjusting.
just for adjusting it, yeah, 57.8.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Article 14, we're still working on the interest usage. We're trying to get the final number and the wording corrected still. Article 15 is new. I was trying to clean some stuff up and make sure I didn't miss anything and realized we didn't put community power on here. So this is the warrant article language that they provided us with. I haven't confirmed anything with the Department of Revenue yet. I have sent the JPA to the town's attorney to look over just because I don't want him to miss anything there. So I'm just waiting for that to come back and then I should have that signed. And then this is the warrant article if you agree to keep that on there if there's nothing in the JPA, so.
What is that third sentence from the second to the last sentence? Third to last sentence. The plan will initially provide lower electricity rates for residents or will not launch. How, that must have been they must have explained that in their public hearing. Do we like look at everybody's rates for 6 months and it doesn't work? We don't participate? What does that mean?
I think some of the stuff that came out in the first public hearing is that the rates right now are lower than what they can offer. So they're saying
So it wouldn't kick in until,
they wouldn't automatically kick in. If the plan can't get you the lower rate that they say the community power plan can, it won't kick in.
So right now they can?
Right now, they are about the same, if not
Interesting.
better.
Huh.
So we're paying more right now.
rates have been going down.
Yeah.
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 Because we locked in with Constellation, we're paying this is what the public hearing, it could have changed since then, but the rates at the public hearing were about 10 or 11 cents, and we're paying 14.8 cents. So we're paying a little bit more, but we have a contract. We thought, we locked into this 3-year contract, which saved us money the first couple of years, because I think it's done this year. So now we're paying a little bit more.
Didn't seem like such a great thing, but
Yeah, and that's our
there it goes again, sorry.
That's our constellation. We locked in at 3 thinking the market was really volatile,
Well,
which
right.
it was,
Right, it was, yeah.
but it's come back down some.
Okay, thank you.
So that's what they proposed. They still have another public hearing. I haven't heard, I asked them to add another one because I don't think that there were, so that we could also ask Kate to record it. Because I think it would be nice to be able to post something ahead. So I haven't heard back just yet, but it is just after the holidays, so.
Okay.
And the last one to consider was something you asked about at the last meeting. If you wanted to consider to increase veteran standard or all veterans. So I did double check, you can't do one, you have to do, it would end up being both, the way the statute is written. If you increase the regular standard veterans, and those are the ones who served during qualifying period, honorably discharged, 90 days, all of that, then your all veterans also would be the same amount, according to the statute. So if you increase it to, right now we're at 500, keep putting my glasses up and try to read. We're at 500, but if you increase it to the 750, we have approximately 121 standard veterans. That changes every year, that number. The increased impact there would be 30,250. And then we have about 28 all veterans. That impact is about $7,000. If you add the two together, base it on our 10 cents per, it's about a 7-cent increase for everybody else if you do this. We can still get it in to your warrant articles if that's what you want to do, but I wanted to put that out there. And you don't have to do the full to 750. You could do 100 if you wanted to make the 600. You can do a range. You can do anywhere between the 50 and the 750.
So the two can't be different?
According
So
to,
last year, I can't remember, it's too long ago.
the credit granted under this section shall be the same as the amount of the standard or operational veterans credit. And so this is the all veterans. So when we adopted this, it's the same as that number.
Anybody else smelling a solvent?
I sprayed that earlier, but I don't know.
No, I'm definitely smelling something alcohol-like.
Could be upstairs.
That's odorless, isn't vodka odorless?
I think it is odorless, but. Okay, so.
I'd be sound asleep if that was alcohol.
So I just wanted to double check if you want to put that on there.
You said 7 cents.
It's about
If
7
everyone
cents
does.
on the tax rate.
Yeah.
And that's an estimate right now.
Yeah.
If there are veterans that you just removed too, and then we add some and so that number changes.
That's close enough.
Do you keep track over the years? Like how many veterans we have?
Yeah, we could go back. I think we could go back, yes. I think there's a way
Just
to do
curious.
it. But
I heard,
I can tell you what the value is every year, because when you do your tax rate setting, your veterans credits come off of your, they come off first, and then the rest of it goes in. But, so we could tell you what that number is for the past probably, I think we could tell you what it is for the past 10 years. The last time I looked, it was 108,000 in veterans, but. And this report she just ran,
I just asked because there was somewhere in conversation it seemed that there were more veterans moving, or there were a group of veterans that chose to move to Bristol for whatever reason. They thought it was a great place to live. So I don't know if there was if you saw a large increase or.
No, this list, when I was doing this, this list is pretty much the same. It's a little higher maybe, but not much. This is for regular veterans, we have 60,500. All veterans, we have 14,000, and then we have the total disability, and it's 39,100. It looks like it's 113,600, so it's gone up. When I did it last, it was 108, so.
Okay. And folks can have both.
No, they can't, so all veterans can only qualify for the 750. Standard veterans, if they are totally and permanently disabled, they have to be those words, so 100% totally and permanently disabled, then they qualify for an additional 1,700. So additional. So they get $2,200 off their taxes if they qualify. And we have about, I think it was something like 21 when I looked. So.
Of the total?
21, yeah.
Of the dual or, yeah?
21 that get both, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so 21 that get both, and so that leaves about 100 then.
Yeah.
So I'll throw this out there, you can also change the total and permanent. Its range, which is up to 4,000, and I think that's too much to do. So you could, if you could consider doing more, but I think if you did even just the one, that's something extra, so. And I do think we have to look at in the next year our elderly, so considering changing elderly. Our values have continued to go up.
Yeah.
But our elderly exemption hasn't changed. So.
Right. I mean, I would defer to Carol and Scott. It doesn't seem like a heavy lift.
And that lift could go down some again, but.
So 7 cents, that's not the change, that's the total if we go to 750.
That's a change. It would add an additional.
If that, we'd add I rounded up to about $40,000.
Yeah.
So if you base it off of our current value is $56,000, to add or subtract, it's 10 cents. So average is roughly 7 cents.
And let's be clear, I mean, we're not changing it, it's up to the people to vote on it.
Right.
And
Right, that's
we're
true.
just proposing it.
Yeah.
And so it's not on us, it's up to the people.
Right. I think we should throw it out
Yeah, it
there.
makes sense.
Fair point.
So we'll add both, there'll be 2 more warrant articles then.
One for each.
One for each,
Yeah.
we'll add them into the 750.
Mhm.
Okay. So we'll add those in. Do you probably save the community power for the end?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll
I
do
feel
that.
that's gonna be a long discussion.
I was gonna, and do you want to change the order of any of this, by the way?
I think,
It seems appropriate.
The PSB, then we'll do the veterans,
Yeah.
and then the community power will be the last discussion.
might not have anyone left by then.
Well, yeah.
Shouldn't be too bad.
Oh, no, did you say that?
We haven't seen any addition.
I keep doing
You
this.
need new glasses or
These
different
were
hairstyles?
new. From the dollar store. That's the problem,
Home
probably.
Depot specials. $195.
I already lost the ones that I bought.
Yeah, I know. I go through several.
I go 2 years.
Yeah,
You know, I just bought
yeah, but you wear them all the time.
from
You don't
Amazon.
take them off.
Yeah, that's
We're
the
just
problem.
cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't go to the doctor, I probably should have, but. All right, so we're good with the lineup, we'll add the veterans. And you start to ask a question.
I don't know.
Okay, goodbye. The next one is I'll just let you read that. I'll talk briefly, but I'm not gonna mention who. If you look under TA6, that's the letter, I just wanna make sure you're good with it. I met with that person.
Yep.
And I just wanna make sure that covers what you wanted to say, so.
Looks good to me.
Okay.
I did see the information is being discussed with the agency, so I did see that, and I will email the letter, to the person tomorrow, and then we'll go from here.
Okay.
I had a discussion, I think I said, did I put it in there? I did have a discussion about the next steps, explaining what group boards the person would have to go to, explaining the permits they'd have to get, that the owner of the property would have to sign off on everything, and then also that there would need to be a determination about taxing when the building is built if they move forward, so.
Yeah.
The Pemmy Path Trail MOU, I did send it out, and I didn't remember to do that before the holidays, but I sent it out today. It's under TA7. I have asked her some questions, but I also wanted to make sure that you were good with it. They did, because they did make a change. I tried to do an automatic renewal. The change that they made was, sorry. So the MOU will expire at the end of December 31st, 2025. It shall automatically renew for an additional 2-year period unless written termination notice is furnished by either party. I think that's reasonable.
Mhm.
They're giving us 2 years now, so we don't have to try and renew this at the end of the year again.
Yeah,
And we can, if we don't agree to cancel it, then it's gonna give us 2 more years to get
Okay.
through, hopefully. The only issue under section Article 4, general provisions, where it talks about primary contacts. I am being questioned again about having the board pick someone on the Pemmy Path to be a contact with the Army Corps.
No.
And they are saying they don't wanna overwhelm me, and they don't, but, I'm
but
not.
we need the back,
We
we
need
need
the
the
central.
backstop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I did put the board as the alternate, so if something should happen, if I got hit by a bus, then you'd have somebody that could talk to them
Okay.
still, so. But I'll get back to Tia and just make sure we're good with this and ready to go, and try and get it signed, so.
I'm surprised they got it all into 3 pages.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more than, it was only 2.5, I think, so it went up a little. Fire department, I really have no updates there right now, there's a lot going on. Highway department, Newchester Mountain Road, Mark has ordered the road narrow sign. It hasn't arrived yet, so
Okay.
we're still waiting on that. And then I'll talk a little bit under police department about it. Green Street, no work will be done until spring if it's needed. We're still working on the easement information. I'm trying to locate the originals binder that was here before. Just waiting. We've had some people who've been in and out of the office, so I should have that soon. Skip the next one. Peaked Hill Road under TA12. I just want to make sure, this has come up last storm. I think I sent Sean up because I am not a road person. I can see when there's a problem. I can pretty much judge there's a problem. But we kept getting the same concerns up there. So there's really not much we could do. These storms have been extremely, these storms have been not expected for one, and a lot more rain than anything can handle, even if there were multiple culverts up there.
It doesn't look that bad considering the amount of rain.
And there's nowhere for water to go right now.
There's no.
Except for my basement.
Yeah. So one of the things that came out though with this is that we did go up and clean the culvert out, and I asked Mark, I said, did you check it? Is there any damage to it? So he went back out and looked. The damage, Mark doesn't believe that the damage is from anything being stuck in it. It's a corrugated culvert and the bottom has started to rot out.
Is it a galvanized
Yeah,
culvert?
it must be. if it's
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah,
So,
then it's probably over 25 years old. So.
yeah,
Yeah.
so Mark's plan in the spring is to replace the culvert. And then there's a driveway uphill that never was made to put a culvert in. And Mark's plan is to put a culvert in that in the spring. So I'm gonna respond to these people, but I wanted to make sure the board was aware of the issue, because this is coming.
So the driveway uphill, we're doing that at the town's expense, and the property owner doesn't have an issue with it?
So he's gonna have to reach out to them in the spring and talk to them. When we redo roads, we normally do the culverts partly because, if the culverts have to be replaced, we do, and that's been their standard practice. And they wanna make sure they're in right, they wanna make sure they're lined up correctly.
What was the last thing?
When they install their driveway for the first time, they install their culvert though.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was your question?
When was the last time Picky Hill Road was paved, anybody know?
Not that long ago.
Not that, it's only a couple of years old.
But-
Because they
used
bluestone,
chip
they
seal.
chip bluestone, they chip sealed it for a while. and then-
Yeah, it was
Was it
within
last
the-
year?
Don't strain yourself.
Was it last year they paved?
was it last?
I wanna say like 2
That
years.
looks
ago.
pretty fresh. I
Seems
mean,
like, since
I think it's two, because it might have been 2022.
Yeah,
Because it came up in December when we had that last rainstorm, that's when I had to send people out. You can't ditch a lot of this area because of the ledge up there too.
It's just
it
like.
it needs to be hammered or
Yeah.
blasted or whatever, but yeah, you gotta, eventually we've got to make these roads more capable of handling. There's only so much we can do, because we
Right.
only have so much room.
is this the high school side?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes,
yeah. But at the same time,
the culvert is right at the beginning on the height of that.
I see washouts all over town that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so we have determined it is a culvert that has to be replaced, and that the driveway above probably should have had a culvert when they installed the driveway. I don't know how long ago that was. There are some trees that will have to come down on both properties, and both individuals will be talked to when the time comes,
Yeah.
so.
I mean, it's a worst case scenario, there's absolutely no carrying capacity of the soil for anymore. There hasn't been for a year,
No, yeah.
for any more water, and that just makes it.
we need a dress. Literally.
Yeah,
We've talked about Hemlock Brook Road too, because we keep losing the top of the beaver pond. And that culvert is a good size, it's just not enough, so Mark's talking about adding a second culvert.
yeah.
And that would be in the spring as well, so.
Speaking of washouts, the parking lot at Cummings, where it's, I don't know if anybody else has seen where it's washing down in the state right away.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the state responsibility to deal with that, or somebody put gravel in there recently, but.
On the uphill side?
What's that?
On
On the uphill
of
side,
road,
yes. So if you were to, I drove in the parking lot to see where it was coming from, and if you look, it's like where it first starts, they put gravel in, and there's a couple of the small washouts.
I
the
think
state.
it's
After
the
last
state.
storm, They grabbed it all along there.
Well, they went and I think they did all the way up into Groton too, they did whole sections all the
Did
way
they?
through, yeah.
Probably gonna wash out on Wednesday when it rains again, but.
Mark thought it would be nice if you saw the NRA activity report. He thought it was the end of the year, but I read it, it's November, and that's under your TA 14. If you want to take a look at it, you can. It tells you the C&D, and anything else that they take care of for us, the amounts in there, so. Are you all right? Did it die?
No, it's this computer, 20% of the time when you click on a PDF, it locks up.
I might have to go in and read
I
it,
noticed
update
an extra 2 additional decimal spaces as I open this up, and I'm like, $325,000 worth of baling wire?
Jesus. There's some Rube Goldberg stuff going on there.
you. the Minot Sleeper Library, I've talked to Patty. They were talking about last year we had candidates night, there was some confusion over whether they were holding it or not. They've agreed to still host it, but they can't do it at the library anymore. They say it's getting too big for there. So we booked the Historic Town Hall for them to use, and they've scheduled it they're gonna still host it, it's just gonna be at the Historic Town Hall, and it's scheduled for March 2nd. I don't have times yet, I'll have more information as we get closer.
That's good, they were way ahead of the ball this year.
Yeah,
Yes. They have filled their open position, and their open 24-hour position. I will have more information at your next meeting. I don't have the person's name yet, but they did extend an offer, so. Under the police department, the traffic study, the police chief did do a small traffic study so far on Newchester Mountain Road. While he was there, he was approached by a resident who was concerned that the study was not being done in the summer when there was a high flow of peak usage in traffic. So the chief and I talked, and I said, oh, we should go out and do it again.
Yeah, that's
we'll
fine. If
compile the two.
if that's how they feel about it, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The damaged cruiser has been repaired.
Great.
So, water and town clerk, tax collector, I have no updates right now. Water and sewer department, Baton Road update, Jeff has purchased the pressure gauges and has them in stock now. The plan is to install the gauges at the house and the street for the comparison of what's happening at that property. Unfortunately, the gauges took so long to get in that they can't do it until spring. And I know that he's talked with the owner, so I want to make sure the board knew. Under events, town events, January 20th, they candy bar bingo. Stay tuned for more information because I don't have it. But we'll post it on the website if anybody's interested. It was a big hit, I think, at Old Home Day. So, other events, Newfound Area School District SB2 meeting dates and deadlines. Their petition warrant articles have to be in by January 9th. Their budget hearing is January 8th with a snow date of January 10th. And filing for positions for office January 24th to February 2nd, which, by the way, is also the same brass. So I will get a list of those open positions. Communications. Under TA 13, there's a letter from a property up on Prospect Street. I have scheduled a meeting with the board and Jeff at your next
Okay.
at your next select board meeting. You can see in the pictures the concern they're asking for an additional $2,100 approximately for the town to pay for that. So newsletters in your packets under TA 8 and 9. You have the regional transportation newsletter and the Department of Engineering newsletters if you'd like to read them. Under other, I tried to find Bob Fellows, who's normally here. I tried to find his phone number, I did not have it, but he had asked a question that we said we would look into at one of the December meetings. We got so I couldn't share it with him, so I figured I'd do it in public and if he's watching. He had asked if there were any compaction tests done at the public safety building. And Chief LaRoche checked into it. Geotechnical Services out of Ware is the engineer of record being employed by Gruen for the public safety building project. They have performed multiple site visits throughout the site work and construction phase to date. They have a record of satisfactory compaction tests on the following dates: May 23rd, prior to the footing and walls; July 27th, prior to slab pour of admin side; August 15th, prior to the slab pour of the apparatus bay; November 2nd, prior to start of retaining wall; and November 6th to confirm correct placement of materials and geo-gridding for retaining wall. So they did the 5 compaction tests. So
Excellent.
Good follow-up, you guys.
Constellation Energies provided updates on the market under TA 11. Those are the people that we are currently contracted with, so if you wanted to look at that, you'll have to blow it up a little bit. And then under TA 15, Representative Sellers shared a list of 2024 House and Senate bills. I have not had a chance to review it, but I thought I'll email that out if you'd like. If there's something that you would like me to investigate or address, it's quite a list. It's 38 pages. I'm gonna look through it and see if there's anything that jumps out. One of the things I wanted to ask.
Oh, this is the whole.
The whole thing, yeah. One of the things I was asking our other representative was that there was a bill.
Relative to animal chiropractors.
There was a bill that was being heard, I think, a couple of weeks ago about legal fees and right to know.
Yeah.
And I don't
It's
know,
right at the top.
is that the top? I don't know if they did any kind of votes yet on it or if that's.
No, none of these have had committee hearings yet.
Okay, good.
These are all new.
I'm
Start
gonna
next
look,
week.
I'd like to look into that one, because that one, there's some concerns raised about it. Let me see,
Not from last year, you're talking about coming out.
no, it came in December, the alert from
Just
NHMA. Let me look.
We voted on like 250 today.
Which one? Never mind.
Sorry, I archived it.
Feel like a line, 2021. It's actually line 23 on PDF Excel, but
23.
Yeah.
take their representatives from the southern part of the state.
No, it's probably,
Actually, no, those three are fairly conservative Republicans, is probably.
they're probably trying to,
Oh,
They're providing,
Prohibited.
prevention. Yeah.
yes.
All right.
We can't find it right now. There's a concern that was raised by NHMA asking that towns consider reaching out to the representatives, and it's to protect obviously towns and municipalities. It's something to do with the right to know and legal.
We voted on that today. I can't bring it into my brain. I'll go out in the truck and grab it after.
Okay. Yeah, I can't find the email right now. Sorry.
Okay.
And then under other, there are no other updates. There was one thing, just for those who didn't get to make it here, was we had good food and coffee, and Carol started the ball throwing and left. And then it really got bad.
Ball thrower. Squishy balls.
I gave out squishy balls on ice, and they had little,
Two tents in here.
the stress balls had little sayings on them, inspirational sayings on them. Oh, and then hand creams.
How many people showed up, or?
So, fire department had calls, they couldn't come.
Do you
There
vote
was
on like
a couple of
bills
police,
at the same time?
We have a consent calendar and a
Yeah.
regular calendar.
there was a couple of police department, all of the highway departments here because we made them come to their personnel manual meeting. But it was good.
Carol's got the language on the.
It's about non-public sessions. So
Oh, I
the
just
summary
found it too.
was, they wanted to allow people that were being discussed in a non-public session, employees, to come into that session.
Oh, there's another one too then, I'll tell you the other one, but go ahead.
Yeah, and it didn't pass, because the conversation was, sometimes you just need to have that conversation without that person there.
This one is HB 307 FN. And it says, relative to attorney's fees and actions under the right to know law. The bill will turn a long-standing rule of law on its head. It passes municipalities, counties, school districts, village districts, and the state will be required to pay attorney's fees and costs to the plaintiff in any right to know lawsuit where the plaintiff prevails. This means that even if the municipality acts in good faith on the advice of counsel in an ambiguous area of the law, the taxpayers will be on the hook to pay the plaintiff's fees and costs if the municipality loses the case. There will no longer be a requirement for the court to find the municipality acted in bad faith. You
Is
just
that an SB or an HB?
HB 307 FN, it says.
What's the year before it, 24 or 23?
It doesn't say, it has a link, let me see if it opens and see if you did vote.
I don't recognize that, so it must be coming up. Hang on.
January 3rd, 2024, ought to pass with amendments.
Sounds like it,
Refer to finance, I guess,
sounds
so,
like it passed today.
Sounds like I voted on it already today?
Yeah.
Or yesterday?
or yesterday, yeah. So I'll have to look and see what the amendments are, but so there is, if some,
It's not
there is
coming
the
up with the
exposure where they don't have to prove that we acted in bad faith, we automatically will have to pay the fees.
It's not coming up, I don't recognize it, it's not coming up in the search on the calendar for today. Well,
Let me
I'll
see.
get back to you.
Says
I'll
January
circle back.
3rd, committee report ought to pass with amendments. Senator Carson moved to remove from the
Oh.
consent calendar.
Senate side, Senator
Yeah.
Carson, Senate side.
So it hasn't made it over here yet, it's just in the Senate. Oh no, it went through the House. In February,
Last February,
yeah,
okay.
and it was being voted on in January by the Senate, so.
It's interesting stuff here.
There always is some.
No, John Zellis and I talk about this, 1,000 bills, and people come to us and say, well, how did you vote on number 1, 2, 3? You literally have to go back and look it up.
Relative to the use of psychedelics for therapeutic purposes. Okay, Aaron Rodgers.
So I think.
Well, actually, ketamine is being used for treatment of depression.
I was gonna say for PTSD.
Ketamine's not psychedelic, that's probably relevant to ayahuasca.
Yeah.
No, they claim S-ketamine is a hallucinogen, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even know what
Well,
you're talking about.
isn't the ketamine also similar to the date drug?
No,
Not as bad.
I mean, ketamine started as a tranquilizer.
Yeah,
animal tranquilizer.
well, and I used to always remember
Yeah.
ketamine for animals, but now they've
Yeah.
switched.
It's used-
All right, selectment items.
I know, way off, okay.
Off we go again.
Les,
I have nothing.
really?
I can't believe it, I have nothing.
Just a second. I had a couple of quick ones. Asked the highway supervisor or foreman to go up and take a look at Second Street. Possible obstructions placed in the right of way. Is there anywhere documented what the sign by the dam is supposed to say?
Yeah, it's gone, it's pretty much wiped out.
Yeah, it's deteriorated. I don't know if we
Is
have that language.
For the,
which dam?
The upper dam,
The old dam.
the big dam.
That's so, is that, we don't regulate that sign, right?
I don't know.
Wait,
I
you're
just-
talking about the dam that came out? The pond?
Yes.
By Village Pizza.
So, the Conservation Commission, we stopped and looked at that on one of our tours this summer, and Richard was gonna bring it to the Historic Commission.
Are you talking about the placard
Yeah.
that they had that kind of explains?
Yes.
Who, do we know who put that in?
I assume it went in as part of when they,
I wondered if Freudenberg put that in, because they used to own that.
I don't know.
Upper
All I
Bristol
want
area.
is the document, if there's any picture
Yeah.
or anything that showed what that said.
You can check with the
I'd like-
Historical, yeah.
Because, do we?
Lucille might know. I'll check with her.
I mean, I kinda said. it'd be
Who owns
nice-
it now?
Well,
Upper Bristol Ramp, I think, I have to look. They may still own it. It's Upper Bristol Ramp LLC, used
Yeah.
to own it. I'm right there, so let me,
At one time, they wanted to give it to the town, and the town didn't want any part of it.
Right.
Which is the correct answer.
It would be nice if someone could trim that path out.
It would
too.
be.
We talked about that at Conservation
Yeah.
Commission, whose job would that be, to at least, you could walk a kayak down here.
Yeah.
It's all growing now.
Yeah.
Can't see it.
No.
The pollen.
But I'd like to find what that language was and work with whoever,
so it's still under Upper Bristol Ramp,
is that a private,
and it's part of Freudenberg,
part of Freudenberg? Okay.
I believe. Let me just see if I can get this open.
I don't remember who did that. Were you on the conservation when that
No.
rebuild went through?
No,
Well, maybe, I don't know if it is, because this goes to Plymouth, Michigan. Attention Jackie Marion.
yeah.
I can reach out to them and find out. I'll also ask Lucille, because
I doubt they've got any language on that, but maybe there's a picture of it somewhere that we
it
can
might be in
get,
the Historical Society.
we can get the language and get that sign put back up, some kind of sign, yeah.
We should look into clearing, and seeing if we can clear the,
Ask permission to, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
I think that's it for me.
The only thing I had was, would you ask Mark if we could get a sand barrel again for the spring?
You did.
We tossed
didn't
the
keep-
one we had last year, it rusted out. It doesn't need to be a 55-gallon drum size, it could be
Smaller.
much smaller. I mean, worst case, I'll take one of my 5-gallon buckets up this weekend and after the snow and put it there, but it worked out well last year, to have a bigger drum. So,
There were some people that were, oh, it's icy.
it was a week ago,
Yeah.
it was pretty, or whenever it was, I meant to bring a
Once we got
5-gallon
the cold
bucket,
weather
but I
back.
forgot it.
Rob?
The only question, more of a question than an item, but kind of for Christina. The new coffee shop, the parking seems to be a bit
Yeah, we were talking about that today.
of an issue. And I feel bad even bringing it up because I don't want to discourage their business whatsoever or anything. But they kind of have it lined so that all the cars are pulling in against traffic.
Yeah, I wondered about
You're
that.
supposed to back in
What?
angle parking.
You're joking, right?
It is back in, I
It's
think.
back in angle parking.
It would work there
Yeah. If people did it.
if people did it.
Can-
And there was signs, there's no signs.
Yeah.
No,
If that's what-
it's temporary.
Yeah.
If I remember right, Red King, or,
So, no,
the
it's
owner of
not
the property-
temporary. It's good, well, it's
no,
temporary for 3
they changed the
years.
site plan and they're gonna redo the parking area.
No. So what's happened, they bought all the properties around them.
No, they're redoing it around.
On
towards-
the other side.
On the gas station side.
Yeah, so when they bought all the properties, they inherited leases. So they cannot use the other parking lot that they thought they could originally use, which is the daycare parking
Yeah.
lot, because there's a lease there and she has exclusive rights to use it. So they had to go back to they withdrew that plan because they were going to put it in so you came in and I can't get there on the
But
street.
don't, that's fine.
But they were originally going to make it a one-way entrance in and then to say customers could park in the front parking area up against the fence and they were gonna put a nice new fence in and clean that up. So, and then when you went back out, you would go around and back out. So you'd still have the parking in the middle and the parking in the front for the daycare building. And they can't do that. So they had to go back to their original site plan, which required the fence being installed to separate the 2 lots. And they were gonna put in parking on the side of the building, but I don't think they found that they can't back them in or out of there as easily either. But now they're also adding on the other side. So Genevieve's is one lot by itself. If you look at the lot for the daycare, it runs all the way around both and touches the Chinese restaurant parking. And they're gonna clean, there's an area on the dirt that they're gonna clean up. Yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
It's Lisa's.
Oh, yeah, these are,
Yeah.
so
It's a pet room.
we were talking about it today because, they're getting,
Well, the other issue is, right, there were people complaining about the house across the street parking on the sidewalk, and then,
no, the person's complaining about them parking on the sidewalk.
Yes.
People who are parking across.
people are parking across the street on the
walking
sidewalk
across.
in front of their house.
Yeah,
and they're also parking in front of the no parking signs along the fence too, so.
so they've called the DOT this week, and DOT has talked to Chris about it. I gotta get that other thing fixed.
Well, and the daycare is putting tickets on people's cars that,
Because people are still parking over there, I think.
yeah,
I just got us to the
are
park.
telling them it will be
I-
towed if it happens
I saw
again.
something on the window the other day and I
Yeah.
wondered, There will be parking at the town?
We also were mentioned because we are using the parking to walk across the streets of the public safety building.
Yeah.
Who is?
We asked for permission when we did it. I don't know if other people are, so.
I mean, every day?
I don't
Some-
know.
Or maybe in the past,
No,
in the past.
So,
Well, I'm guilty. I would stop there and look at the,
Oh, wow.
watch the work.
so when they, so they had to put a fence here, that's the fence that you see, but if you look at this lot, they own all the way over to here, and that's the Chinese restaurant parking, right here.
Yeah.
So they're gonna right now, clean this up and add some parking here. This is the Genevieve's building, and she uses parking here, they own that, they own all of this,
So we did buy all of it.
yeah.
Can you, so that they don't own,
The employees are parking behind the building now, down.
but they don't own where your cursor is?
They own here.
They own it, but there's an outstanding lease.
Oh, sorry.
There's a, yeah, so there's a lease here, they own it, they own this too. For some reason, this parcel, it's a building, one building, but it was allowed to be as two
Yeah,
parcels
yeah.
because it's grandfathered. So they own this, they own this, they own this. Or I called it Genevieve's, it's Kelly's Grooming, I'm
Right.
sorry.
You'd think they might be able to work something out with the people that buy the Chinese place, because they're not gonna be open first thing in the morning.
Right.
Right.
Mm.
So they are adding parking
Yeah, they are.
spaces here.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
That's
they
the-
are adding parking spaces here. But, and I believe their employees are parking over here right now, yeah.
Yeah, they,
It might moderate too, it's always that,
So-
you know, the.
like, I didn't know where the property line was, so like, I pulled in on a Saturday and parked on the other side of the telephone pole between the groomer and
Yeah.
You
the
can-
coffee shop.
They own that, so it's,
Oh, they do own it?
they own this, they own
Yeah,
all
that
of
whole
this.
corner.
They own all of this.
So,
So, let me, it might show you better.
okay. Well, like, I didn't realize the groomer was open, so I moved.
They own all of this.
Yeah.
So, but the groomers is this lot, and they say they only need the one parking space really, so. And so you can park here.
Yeah.
So the issue
Yeah, because
is,
I parked on the actual groomer's lot.
Yeah.
it's.
I don't think they cared, but I didn't, like,
Everybody's been parking there.
Right.
well, when I realized they were open on a Saturday, I moved my truck.
Yeah, we can't.
Well, and
He's making a full confession.
I did talk to Chief Bean, and he's like, he didn't wanna ticket people yet.
Yeah.
Because it's a new business, you don't wanna discourage that. But we are going to have to keep an eye on it, and if they continue, they will have to be addressed on that side. It's the same issue that we were having here. And that was brutal, that we had people parking here, we had people parking here, and we had people pulling in and parking in the private lot here.
Yeah.
And they had to put up signs to try and
But
stop
just
it.
till May, that's gonna
And
happen
they,
again.
well, and they had all the parking over here, but still people are parking, and there are no parking signs right here, so. And we had to have, we did put up temporary parking orders all along here to stop the ones here, but.
Is it just me, or is that like the darkest crosswalk? I know there's a light there, but it's like, whenever people are there,
We
it's
asked
really
them.
hard to see them there.
We asked about it too.
Oh, coming across from the Chinese food restaurant?
Yeah, it is. It's a little desolate. You
Yeah.
feel a little
Yeah.
exposed crossing there because it is pretty dark. Yeah.
We did talk to the state about that parking, and we would have to pay, and they're quite expensive. We could get the flashing pedestrian sign ones there, but I think if we were gonna do that, we would do that by the school.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the kids have almost been hit there multiple times.
Well, the 10-year plan project will be coming up in a couple, 3 years, and that we could maybe build into
Right.
that.
Well, that kind of that whole section, I mean, that was, I mean, it's not really a relevant concern right now, but Halloween night, I watched a kid almost get hit by Union Street.
Yeah.
Like real close.
You know, that's a point though, because they should know, so in the 10-year plan, it's gonna widen the roadway, what, 5.5 feet? And they're gonna be moving, on this side of the road, they're gonna move telephone poles, so are they gonna lose parking in front there, is that gonna, for?
Well, it's gonna cause problems
I'm just
further
throwing it
down
out
It's
too.
happened for 20 years now.
It's
The
gonna
10-year
cause,
plan's not gonna happen for 20, that's a good point, that's,
my concern is gonna be down here, cause they're going to most likely lose that. There'll be a curved
there'll be a
sidewalk,
curbing in front there, people will
Yeah.
park on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
so,
Although they've got,
I can park. Just gotta have a truck.
that's right.
It's like a parallel parking infrastructure. Up the road.
That's right.
Yeah.
so it is new, and we are going to get concerns and
Yeah.
complaints with the new businesses until things regulate out, but Chris is aware, and Chris is,
Just for the record, I'm not complaining. It was
no,
kind of
but
a
we are
concern.
getting them.
Oh, yeah, you see all over Facebook.
What's VC?
Village commercial.
Complaints on Facebook.
I think that was all I had, Sean.
Okay. Scott?
We didn't meet in the planning board.
No, there's no planning board meeting, so I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Okay. Les, you had mentioned, you're not going to be at the next budget committee meeting?
I will not be able to make the next budget meeting.
So who's the alternate?
Is that me?
I'm the
I
alternate.
can tell you in a second.
Okay.
You can go if you want.
No, it's Carol Brown is the alternate.
I will try to be there.
What night is that?
Please don't
Tuesday.
leave me.
Susan?
This coming Tuesday?
Just coming.
Yeah.
January 9th at 6 o'clock. And it's gonna be highway, water, sewer, fire, betterment,
Finance? Was it finance?
no. But they had to put something back on because there's a motion, they had to correct the minutes from the last meeting and the meeting before, I think.
That is my only free night next week.
Sorry.
Oh, then you'll be able to do it?
Yeah.
6 o'clock, you said?
6 o'clock.
Good. If-
I'll make sure,
I'll be
I'll
there.
forward you the invitation, cause so that you have
Yeah,
the meeting
thank you.
materials.
Okay.
As a reminder, can I get a paper copy of the CIP?
I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be good for me.
I still have to-dos from the last 2 December meetings,
Yeah.
so.
No, it's okay.
All
I
right.
got nothing to say about not getting things done, so.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second by Rob. Aye. Aye. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
And that's